YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Paul Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. Hey, guess what? If this your first time tuning in, go ahead, hit the doggone subscribe button, hit notification bell every time I post up new content. Well, people, it seems to me more and more bullshit on a daily basis. As you can see, I got my glasses on once again, tasted beverage in hand, uh, because it's 5 o'clock, some damn where. But the thing about doing this, people, the reason why I got my glasses on, which I've told y'all this in previous shows, right, is because sometimes when I'm like this, I see bullshit. I can see it one time around, and I can be like, okay. I can see it 2 times around, and I can say, okay. I might even see it 3 times or 4 times, and then after that, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Oh, same song, same verse, but different people are singing the same verse. So now that I got that out the way, I can take these motherfuckers off. Okay? So here's the deal, right? And the title says it all. Family affair. I got a whole bunch of question marks behind it. I got T.I. and his son King. The King and I, T.I. versus T.I.P. King, which is his son, versus King of the South. Because at one time, that's what T.I. called himself. So in our case, everybody by now know what happened with T.I. and his son at the Atlantic Hawks game. Not the Atlanta Hawks, the Atlanta Falcons. So apparently they didn't got into it. And the son talking about, well, I'm about my business. He all up in his daddy's face or whatever, talking about he don't want to live in a gated community. He want to be out in the so-called hood, right? And so then I started asking myself, okay, where have I heard this before? Because if you actually really go back, and I really don't think that I talked about that, but if you actually really go back, probably not even 2 months ago, what was NFL Hall of Famer Michael Irvin saying that he was saying the exact same shit about his son. His son then came out with a rap name, out there making videos, talking about all he about their life, and then Michael Irvin just sit up there and just be like, motherfucker, really? So this is what the fuck we do. You've been in a gated community all your damn life. You don't know nothing about that life. Right? And so here it is, a few months later down the road. Now we got T.I.'s son. He want to holler the same shit. And then even before this, the latest and greatest that happened, like I said, you had Mike Irvin, but let's even go back a little bit farther, right? Master P and his son, right? And then if you actually really want to go back even further than that, let's look at Dwayne Wade and his son by means of Gabriel Union. They fucked that boy up, right? So, but then he wasn't holler about he bought that life, right? At the age of 3, right? He done came to them and was like, you know what? I don't want to be no boy no more. which is bullshit because for the most part at 3, what the fuck do you know at 3? Right? So in either case, that's why I call this family affair. And then what's so bad about it is that, okay, that shit happened at the Atlanta Falcons game. And so I'm sitting up here, on my way, taking my wife to work this morning. So I'm listening to Dee in the morning. Right? And so they was talking about it. So that happened on Sunday. Right? So the video went viral, of course, because it's celebrities, so-called celebrities, right? And then, so they didn't let that shit happen. So then they hurry up and run into the studio. And then they make a song talking about his dad. So you had King and his other son, Damani. And so I'm just like, okay, what the entire fuck was T.I. thinking when whether him or the wife, which again, that's another character, right? What the fuck were they thinking? What the fuck were they thinking about when they named these kids, right? So, but I get it. Hey, look, to each his own. You name your child or children, whatever the fuck you want to name them, right? It's just that once once they leave the house and they go to school, then we already know what the fuck is gonna go down. Right? But then again, if you're in a gated community, you're probably in a school, you're probably not gonna go to a regular school or so-called regular school and regular kids go there. Right? So in either case, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this. I'm watching all this shit play out, and y'all know how I feel about the entertainment industry, right? It really wouldn't surprise me now that shit that happened between T.I. and his son wasn't a state. It was a staged event. Had to be. Right? And I already know a lot of y'all gonna sit there and say, well, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Hey, guess what? I'm the crazy uncle. This is what the crazy uncle does. Crazy uncle look at shit. Crazy uncle watches it. Crazy uncle says, that shit was staged. That shit was staged. Right? Because I'm looking at T.I. and I'm just like, okay, great the fact. I want to say, well, ain't no want to say to it. I know I'm older than T.I. So hold on, let's do this right fast. How old is T.I.? So hold on. Oh yeah, there's that. Yeah, so he's 43 years old. Matter of fact, he ain't been too long had a birthday, right? Back in September, right? So if you actually really stop and think about it for a minute, right? And and I've actually really said this in previous shows, T.I., right? He actually really falls into that anything from say 1973 going forward, right? He actually really falls into that crack where that your parents whether they wanted to or not, they couldn't because laws were in play or laws were in place where that you really couldn't get after your kids like how you were supposed to. Now, correct the fact, I already know the story, right? Well, actually, I don't know the story because to be perfectly honest, I really haven't paid attention to T.I. since his first album. When Bring 'Em Out came out, then yeah, okay. I was one of the ones, I was listening to it. I was, what motherfuckers did back then and all that kind of shit. Anything after that, I really didn't too much care for. He did a couple of collaborations with some folk, and then I would listen to that. But for the most part, I could care less about what the fuck T.I. did, right? I mean, he was, for the most part, he kind of actually really puts me in the mind of the movie CB4, right? Where that this motherfucker, he writes some shit down on paper, then he actually really try to go out and do it. Then he went to jail, right? Because you too busy trying to live what the fuck you rapping about. So again, and 9 times out of 10, all of that was a motherfucking, wasn't nothing but a motherfucking marketing ploy. Okay, so again, so you look at all that, and then they did the little bullshit reality show because 9 times out of 10 your records wasn't selling. So they were saying, well, hey, you know what? Let's put him on VH1, get all his kids together, act like he's doing something, and hopefully he can get some money that way, right? So again, y'all already know where the fuck I'm going with this one. Now, just like I said, for those of y'all that are actually really T.I. fans, hey, look, I got it. Right? But just know this. Right? All that shit happening at the damn ball game. Oh, about my business, about my business, about my business. Motherfucker, you probably don't even know how to spell business. Right? And then the mama coming out talking about, oh, well, he was sucking on the pacifier. He didn't stop sucking on the pacifier until he was 12 years old. And I'm just like, okay, red flag number one. Why would you have, why allow that to happen? So everybody had something to say. I think Charleston White, he had something to say. And then I actually really listened to what he had to say. And then the only thing that I would say, if I was T.I., I would go find Charleston White and I would whoop his motherfucking ass, right? Because you can sit up here and you can agree and say, well, hey, look, that boy was wrong for disrespecting his parents, right? But then you take that shit too far. Then I was like, hold on, motherfucker. I hear what you're saying, but you need to shut the fuck up, right? Before I dig in your ass, right? Because you can best believe first and foremost, if I was a celebrity, and if I had a son, which I do, right? Anything that happens, I'm not gonna have that shit in the public eye for everybody to motherfucking see. But then again, you also got to stop and think about it like this. What was the last thing that T.I. did? He was calling himself this motherfucker. Let's think about it for a minute. He was a rapper, right? The rapper, motherfucking, reality show star. Did he call himself having a motherfucking podcast? Did he actually really want to call himself being a comedian? And then I guess he ran out of motherfucking ideas, and you ain't heard from T.I. since then. Right? Now, whether or not, whatever the fuck they do with, put like this, whatever the fuck that they do with their money, hey, look, that's their goddamn business. Right? But I'm trying to figure this shit out. I'm like, okay, why do this all of a sudden? You do this shit, it goes viral. Then your two boys go in the studio, make a song. So my thing is this: did they do it at your house? Right? I mean, because that happened on Sunday. This is Thursday. 9 times out of 10, the shit came out yesterday. Oh, that's pretty fast. And then again, who's to say that that shit wasn't already on the shelf? And it sounds like he's doing a bunch of right? And that pretty much what it sounds like, right? So I'm just like, hey, just because your daddy was a rapper don't mean that you gonna do it. And then just like I said, I really haven't paid any attention to T.I. since his first album. Right? Because I'm old school. It's either Public Enemy, Boogie Down Productions, LL, Cool J, Kumo D, all of those guys. Right? T.I., you came in at the. I ain't gonna say that you came in on the ass end of it, because the motherfuckers that's out there today, like that Sexy Red, whatever that Ski Eat bitch, yeah. I'm just like, so it's the come to this, and then whoever do that, we outside tonight. I'm just like, so what we doing? Like, we ain't got shit else better to do. Talk about downtown, my booty hole brown, and the fuck is wrong with y'all? It's probably brown because you don't wipe that motherfucker. Okay? So, and I know I'm getting off subject here, but my whole deal is this. That shit was staged. Plain and simple. Right? Yeah, they know who you are, but they don't know shit about your kids other than that goddamn reality TV show that you did a while back. And so my whole deal is this. That's why I call it family affair. That shit was staged. And then I put all of those titles there. Those of y'all, and you know what? I'm not going to explain it. But for those of y'all that actually really know how I talk, y'all know why I put that title. Y'all will already know why I did this title the way that I did. Plain and simple, people. So, other than that, really ain't got too much nothing else to say. I'm sitting here watching another goddamn TikTok reactor. And again, I done talked about this once before, but some of this shit is motherfucking hilarious. Right? But then again, it's hilarious to me because I'm 50 years old. And a lot of the shit what they talk about, look, I done heard that shit before. Right? They were talking about the Federal Reserve. Talking about it being established in 1913. No, that shit got reestablished in 1913. Okay? Don't act like that shit was, listen, don't act like that shit was fucking brand new. Back in 1913, right? And and then a lot of times they be like, oh well, this is for entertainment purposes only. Okay. I give you that too. Yeah, but in our case, people, right? No bullshit when you see it. Plain and simple. Saw what the fuck the crazy uncle asked. No bullshit when you see it. When I saw that shit, I'm like, yep, here we go. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm going to tell you what the fuck happened. T.I. and his boys, they at home one day watching Comedy Hype News, right? And they see this shit what Michael Irvin's son did, right? And they say, you know what? That ain't a half-ass badass idea. So T.I. gets on the phone, calls Michael Irvin. Hey, can I use your idea? And you know how Michael is. Go ahead, dog. Do what you do. You a rapper. And your son, both of your boys, you are really in the music industry. So 9 times out of 10, it'll probably stick better with you versus me and my son. Right? But then again, it's just like what the fuck I told y'all earlier, right? Master P and his son got into it. His son want to sit there and holler about, oh, I'm about that life. No, the fuck you ain't. And then, my whole deal is this. A lot of these so-called gangster rappers, right? 9 times out of 10, they ain't motherfucking about that goddamn life neither. Everybody plays a role now. Put like this. If you really want to talk about people or families that are about that life, or let's just say that the earlier generation of a particular family that was about that life, 9 times out of 10, they ain't no motherfucking celebrities. Now, I know what y'all looking at. Y'all looking at the bottom. Y'all looking at the goddamn screensaver. Apollos Harris. Yes, that is my name. But if you actually really go on my channel, what last name do you see? You see Harris Martindale. And for those of y'all that are here in the state of Arkansas, that's in the surrounding area, Little Rock, North Little Rock, McAllen, Rixie, all of that shit, depending on who the fuck you talk to, they know how the Martindales were at one time. But do I actually really try to claim that type of life? Of course not. Yes, that's my family. Proud of my family, right? But I'm not going to sit up here and holler about, oh, I'm about that life, I'm about that life. No. I followed in my father's footsteps. My dad, although he's gone home to glory, right? 20-year veteran, served in Vietnam twice, Purple Heart. He look, you name it, he got it. Me, 21-year veteran, or damn near 21-year veteran. No, I don't have a Purple Heart, right? Because I wasn't face to face with the motherfucker, but I made sure whatever that was up there in the air, I knocked it down. So if it was any life that I was about protecting life, not trying to take it out, not trying to make a name for myself. Oh, well, yeah, I whooped this motherfucker's ass, or I fucked 3-4 bitches at the same time. No. Never that. And I don't walk around talking about, well, I got these guns, I got this, I got that, I got the other. Because the thing about it is this: I got PTSD in the worst way. Give me a gun, I light it off my own self. But then again, I'll be like this: I'll shoot your motherfucking ass before I do anything to myself. So the thing is this, people. No motherfucking plot a false flag when you see one. And this is all what the fuck that is. It's almost like these motherfuckers are too stupid to just come out and say, hey, you know what? I'm T.I., King of the South. These are my boys. They try to start off their career. Here's their first track. We're going to put it out. Let y'all listen to it. Tell me what the fuck y'all think. What the fuck is wrong with that? I mean, because, hell, if I was a rapper, that's what the fuck I would have did. And then just like say my son, right? Although he wanted to join the army. And I just told him, nope, you're not finna go down that route. You're not finna do what the fuck I did. You gonna carry your motherfucking ass to school. So I transferred my benefits. He's a licensed barber and he can cook. Right? And so, I mean, he working for General Motors. So I can actually really say, and get the fact I wasn't always there. I wasn't always there for my son. And right to this day is something that I regret. But I felt what I was doing at the time, serving this country, trying to make it a little bit better for him and his two kids, which are my grandchildren. And so for the most part, when you try to provide, you're not gonna always be there. You can't be there. And maybe that's what King and Damani or whatever the fuck their names are. Whatever their names are, right? Maybe that's how y'all need to look at y'all dad. Considering how he came up. Excuse me. Considering how he came up. And he said, well, when I grow up, I'm not gonna have my kids living like this. Damn. So he got his pen in his pad and he started writing down lyrics or bars or however the fuck y'all say it. Right? Went to the studio, did a demo, sent it off, got the contract, and then the rest is history. And no, I'm not tearing up. It's just I got a little slight cold. But in our case, regardless, regardless of how he started out, right? Whether it was all bullshit or whether it's the real deal, right? And this is for King and Damani, right? Your daddy did it so you wouldn't have to. And any true father out there, right? They do shit to have a better life for the kids. I'm gonna cut this shit short. So my thing is this. Damn. Quit looking at your dad the way that you're looking at your dad. Because I went to a funeral earlier this week, or it was last week. And I guess it was the youngest child. And she really didn't care too much about her dad. After everybody just said what they had to say, right? Then she come up there and said that. And then I was like, oh, hell, here we go. And then other members came out and said what they had to say. And so basically, I talked to the grandfather. And then he told me, well, hey, how about you tell that to her? And so I did. And so for the most part, I'll tell y'all this right now. I didn't actually really meet my real dad until I was 19. And I'm pretty sure I didn't say this one before. I didn't meet my real dad until I was 19 years old because it was what my mama thought that was best. But at the same time, she bound to have known that I was going to start asking questions. So eventually she had to tell me. But what I'm saying is this. My dad, both of them, Joseph Harris or Joseph Robert Booker Harris, a.k.a. Bozo. I'll be the first one to tell you, listen, he was not the best at the job, right? But at the same time, if you go back and look at what happened to him, and we as men, we try. We look at it and we like, you know what? I'm not going to be that way. And then you end up being that way. And then here I am, then I come around and I see him. And I say, you know what? I'm not going to be that way. But guess what? I ended up being that way. Because it's almost like, okay, well, hey, look, he didn't have nobody to teach him. He didn't have nobody to teach him. I didn't have nobody to teach me. But I joined the army and I did the best that I could. And so again, King, the money, just look at it like this. Really take a real close look at your dad. And look at how he was brought up. Because if his dad or if his dad or his parents, which are y'all grandparents, if they didn't know no better, what the fuck you think the outcome is gonna be? Okay? It's the vicious cycle. And maybe one day this shit will end. I sincerely hope that it ends. Because none of us asked to come here. It's almost like what the late, great I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get out of here. It's like with the late great, the greatest of all time, Richard Pryor. He said it in his Mudbone character. He said, so what I'm saying, the point that I'm trying to make is there is no point to be made. That's all it is. There ain't no point to it. Because you didn't ask to come to this motherfucker, you damn sure can't choose how to leave. So you don't know where you're gonna go. So don't take this shit serious. You better have some fun and plenty of it. Because when the shit is over with, you ask for a recharge, it's too late. So, so basically what I'm saying is this. We didn't ask to come here, but we're here. And then, just like what I told the young lady at the funeral, over the course of time, you will learn to respect your father a hell of a lot better than what the fuck you do. So, for King, listen, over the course of time, you will learn to love your father better than what the fuck you do. If indeed this shit was really serious, right? But you know, I'm just looking at it like this. As of right now, I'm calling it how I see it. The shit was staged. But if you actually really cried out for your dad, then hey, by all means, cry out to your dad and just ask him, hey, look, I get all it. Look, I got it. But damn, could you at least give me 5 minutes? So, in either case, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your big dad, tell your big birthday, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door, cross street, round the corner. Paulus Harris, a.k.a. Crazy Uncle. I'm gonna holler at y'all.